Okay, so welcome everybody. We are in another session of Hype Live or Live with Hype, and we are, trying to be very practical in those sessions. And we've invited an entrepreneur leading a Sportech startups, Tiago Costa. Hey, Tiago.
Hi, Amir. Nice to be here. Nice to see you again.
Yes, great to have you. You've been quite active in the last 8 months, and you managed to accomplish quite a lot. And I want to use this platform really to have an open discussion. We speak to a lot of startups. I speak to a lot of startups on a weekly basis now, and I think there are similar challenges which they're facing. Specifically now in the impact of COVID on their startup, on their business model, on the way they approach potential partners, the way they approach investment or the fundraising process, and the way they attract new clients. And I thought maybe we can have this, and we're starting now a series of conversation with Sportech startups and also Sportech brands, by the way, to really see what is what the challenges that you have, and I'll try to help as much as I can. And then when we speak to brands, it's also about what the challenge they face, and maybe how can we put some of our great startups and help and use them as a solution for the brand challenges. So, maybe we can start by you presenting yourself. I know you're in Portugal, so just a little bit of information so people can get to know you.
Yeah. So my name is Tiago. I am in Lisbon, Portugal. I am the CEO and co-founder from Fundraising. Fundraising, just an elevator pitch. I love to do this. Fundraising is an AI platform that predicts the exact percentage of a fan to attend to a club's next game. So we are using artificial intelligence, we are using big data, we are analyzing the data that our clients have, putting some models inside that data and delivering results in order that they can increase their sales, they can increase their attendances, and they can get much more information than what they are having right now from the data that everyone is giving to the clubs, to the federations. We know that there are a lot of customer touch points. Everyone gives data to clubs because we love football, we love sports. So it's like a free exchange of data, and there is no reason for this industry not to analyze this data, this potential that they have, and putting some actions on it. So here in Portugal right now, we are starting to have some possibilities of starting implementing this. The situation is bad, but we are trying to keep the things going on. So we are not in a lockdown. So we are having an opportunity to start showing to some clients, some of them in the sports industry, another in the entertainment industry, the way that they can leverage their sales and their attendances with a product like ours.
Got it. Maybe you want to share a little bit about yourself. How old are you?
Yeah, I am 33. I am 33. I am working as a full-time CEO for Fundraising since August. Before I was the digital program manager from the Portuguese FA. So I was working in the sports industry for 4 years. And that's where I started to wonder what I can do by myself to help this industry, to give more than what this industry is extracting from what they have right now. And that's where the idea from Fundraising came. And okay, when we entered in the Hype GVA1, and we were able to develop our concept, develop our business, and find our first client, that is the Royal Belgian Federation. It came the time that, okay, it's time to quit. It's time to quit my job, my normal job, and bet on my future, on my company, on this concept and this opportunity that the world is giving to me. So right now I am working totally for Full Venue in a difficult and challenging time, but uh, every day that I get up from my bed, I'm happy because I'm doing what I like. I am exploring opportunities the way that myself and my team wants to do it, and we are always readapting ourselves, because in these times of difficulties, the people needs to be creative. We need to understand what the world is telling us, adapt the way that we are presenting what we have to the world, and and win, because we cannot stop, we cannot fear what's happening right now, because the world needs to progress. So it's being an incredible journey, and GVA was one of the major facts that made my life change so much in the last month.
So you took a bold decision to leave the fairly comfortable, paycheck in the end of the month that you had for a while, and now, jumped into the stormy ocean of entrepreneurship.
Yes, totally.
Yeah. Now,
It is a difficult decision for the ones that are around me, because when the day came where I had to decide and I have to make a choice between Full Venue and my normal paycheck role, it was easy for me. Okay, I didn't need to think a lot, because okay, I love what I was doing. I love the company where I was working and the people that were working with me. Huge relation with all of them. But if I think in 5, 10 years in the future, I wouldn't forgive myself if I was not able to get the risk and pay to see what's going to happen.
yeah, so you jumped into the game of entrepreneurship, and you're now full time running your company. And what I would like, really to allow you to ask or share, what are your major challenges now, and what are you facing? Because I know that we have, a lot of startups out there, and this is now broadcasted live, and it will be later on the Hype podcast. This is now live on the different channels. What can you share? Where are you now? Our pain points. What are the topics that are difficult now for you?
Yeah, I think that we can be a very good example for everyone that is watching us, everyone that is trying to build something. Because if you look into the name of our company, and I always say this, we are named Full Venue, and we are in the middle of a pandemic. So it's difficult to reach clients and say, okay, let's get your venue full with our results. And they say, okay, we cannot, because we don't have public, or we can only have 10% of the audience. Okay, so to solve this, or to make the things better for us, what we need to understand is where we need to attack. So I can tell you that, okay, you have a limited attendance. We are seeing right now the UEFA Champions League matches, and we can see that some of the matches have 10,000 people, another have 5,000 people or 3,000 people. I can tell you that the clubs that are organizing these matches, most of them are not selling all the tickets that they are able to. So the problem is there. And okay, you have the attendance limited to 10%, and you are not able to fill your stadium. That's a problem, because in this time you need to optimize. So if you are allowed to have 10% of the people, you need to do it every single match. And also, the way that we present the business need to be adapted, need to be readapted. So we are delivering predictions, saying to the clubs which is the percentage of someone to be seated in the stadium in the next weekend. But we are also able to tell to the club which is the percentage of each one of their fans to buy their official jersey, or which is the probability of someone that has downloaded their application on the Play Store to become a paying member of the club, because they have already cases of people that just downloaded, created an account, and then became a paid member from the club. And by analyzing this kind of patterns, we are ready to tell to the clubs which is the people that are much closer to become a paid member. So we needed to readapt. We are not only delivering results for attendances, we are also delivering predictions for e-commerce sales, for membership acquirement, and from churn of the current members.
Got it. So basically what you're saying, and I want to stay in the process and the high level so everybody can relate to them from their own perspective. You're saying because of the COVID, we needed now to change maybe our value proposition, and also maybe to change what we are offering, and who is our target audience, and what is the additional value we give, or even we spin it a little bit, because at the moment, and it's probably we don't know when this is going to be changed, in the next 6 months to a year, probably this will be the situation. So I think there are other startups around us now that are feeling more or less the same. So the value proposition they had needed to be changed or adapted into the new situation. So what you say is that we now added some features, maybe big data, maybe conversion of fans, or getting some potential data for monetization that we can bring to the clubs and federations, so it could worth something.
Yeah, I think that's it's not a problem. It's not a problem to readapt.
The question I ask you is, I'm talking about the concept and the way to do that, and the game plan of how do you do that. Because, and if we're talking about creating or changing your business model or readapting your product, one of the problems of startups that they do something from the gut, and they change something and they start building everything around that, and after 2 years they discover, or a year, that it wasn't right. So my question to you is, it's great and it's the right thing to do now, to pivot and to readjust your product. The question is, what process did you use to make sure that the new product is the one to go with?
Yeah. So to be clear, the first time that we started to wonder how to readapt our product was after a meeting with the club. We had a slide in our pitch that tells that, okay, we are working with attendances, we are predicting if your fan is going to the match, and we have a small item in that slide that was referring that we can also work in cross-selling opportunities. And the client read that message and immediately asked about e-commerce. Could you apply your models to e-commerce? And we started to think about that question of our clients. And in the next meeting with another client, we have prepared a slide only for e-commerce sales predictions. Okay. Use our model to.
Tiago, I want to disrupt you a little bit, but I'm interested. Obviously, you got indication from clients. I got it. I'm interested in the process that you have to find the new business model or the new structure or market fit of your product. What is the process?
Yeah, the process. So
are you just saying, okay, I got this feedback and now I'm going to change my product, or you decide, or you're doing some kind of analysis to see what can work and what cannot?
Yeah, the point is simple. So the venues in some countries, the venues are closed, so we need to readapt. And the value proposition of full venue is the same. Let me look into your data and I will give you the results. We have a tailor-made AI platform. So we are not changing the concept, we are changing the way that we are attacking. We are not attacking attendances, we are attacking e-commerce. So the value proposition is the same, but with a little pivot in the way that we are communicating to our client. Let's not communicate only attendances, let's communicate e-commerce memberships, and let's bring the attention of the client to our side.
I get it, but you're not with me, Tiago. I'm not asking about what you've decided to do. I'm just asking about the process, and I'll explain why. If you understand that now the original offering that you had will not work because of the reasons we discussed, and you say now Full Venue is going to meet. If I introduce you to, I don't know, to a big club in England, you will now not share the value proposition you had 6 months ago. You're going to share a new one.
Yeah.
You will brand it differently, you will price it differently, and the value for me as a club will be different. Now, I'm asking you, if I now, and I think one of your next questions probably will be, how am I going to meet, get strategic partners? So I'm asking you about the process. How do you know that the new proposition you have now is the right one to go and pitch clubs? What are the steps you're taking to make sure that your new product value proposition is the right one? Are you going to speak to 25 clubs and federation, get the feedback from them? Are you going to ask them if they're willing to pay? They're happy and they need this new solution desperately yesterday? Yes, no. Are they willing to pay for that? Because they may say, yeah, we are, but we're not paying for that. So what is your process to know? Because if you want me to put you in front of those people, or if you are now investing money in opening those markets, I wouldn't do that before being sure that you have the right product and it's already cooked and it was done some kind of research. So that's it. And now when you say, okay, we give you data on e-commerce or wherever you package it, people will say, wow, that's amazing. So do you understand what my question is?
Yeah. So what make us decide which value that we saw in the market and with the people that we are talking with that made us change the value proposition? I can tell you that clients' inputs, we have discussed this with different clients. We have meeting with investors. And one of the points that some of the investors told us, okay, if you can change your value proposition and adapt it to another kind of conversions, I will be interested in investing in your company. Meetings with advisors.
Investors are not the indication, with all due respect. The question is, how many clubs and federations did you meet and shared with them your new value proposition and the pricing and the business model? And they said to you, yes, if you offer this to us, we will go ahead.
Yes, we have 3 meetings that run that way. And the output was precisely right that they say, okay, if you are able to do this on this area, we are interested in follow up with you.
Okay, good. So you had 3 meetings with 3, they're all in Portugal or in other places?
No, not only Portugal. In Portugal, one of them, and 2 abroad.
And they told you that if you will be able to provide them this and this value, they will also be able, you're asking for payment there? There is a payment?
In the first proposal that we gave them, we have a trial period of 60 days. And if they are satisfied with the results, they start to pay. Because we know that with e-commerce, it's much easier to prove the results.
Great. And you're coming from this background, so you know the ins and outs on that.
Yeah.
Good. And results are defined as KPIs, or you define those results that they're looking for?
Yeah, we have defined KPIs. In the proposals, we have built 6 different approaches. We have named each one of them. So you have actions that the club will select. So I want to do the action 1 and the action 3. And the action 1 is for example, the club selects 5 products from their e-commerce, 5, and we will build our algorithms for the 5 of them. And we will deliver clusters of users each week, and they will communicate, okay, to this
Great.
user, to that product. In the end of the 2 months, they will be able to compare the results that they have for that 5 products with the results that they had before.
Got it. So I now understand. So you already spoke to 3 clubs and you got a positive feedback. Now, the game of market fit, what they call, or I call it just making sure that you've nailed the value proposition. So you're really spot on with exactly what your customer needs, and they're willing to sign a deal with you.
Yeah.
Now, to get to that, if you are getting there, and usually it takes time because you get feedbacks, you get no's, you improve the value proposition, you play with the pricing a little bit. Once you have it, then it's just multiplying and getting in front of more and more clubs and federations. Now, the question should be, what will be your conversion rate? So if you're sitting now in front, let's say we have, theoretically, in the next 2 months, you will meet 100 clubs. How many of them you think will sign for this deal of 60 days and then converting to business? How many?
If we are able to close 10, we are working perfectly.
10. So
Yeah.
out of 100, so 10% will say yes.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so, because we are putting the numbers high. Right now, we don't have that results. We have better results because the clubs that we are talking with, they are always saying yes, and we are achieving the next meeting. But I believe that from the time we started to multiply, as you said, okay, let's make a process. Let's pick what we have now, this box, and let's show this box to 100 clubs. I believe that 10 of them will buy
Now,
the
some of those brands, we've introduced you to them, yeah, through the GVA, and probably they were extremely nice to you, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you also approach other clubs not through the GVA?
Yes, we did.
And what was the feedback there?
The feedback was amazing, and it's recent. So we are starting to do this because, as you know, where we closed with the first client, there was the Belgian Federation. We
Yes.
tried to close with a Portuguese club also, and the team is not very big. So we want to do the things right. We don't want to disperse. So let's prove our concept. Let's show that the results are incredible, and they are incredible. And now I am prepared to say this because we had a meeting with our technical team, and even the head of data science was totally surprised with the accuracy of the algorithms with real data.
Right.
But now, yes, we are talking with clubs out of the GVA also, and we are exploring next meetings. One of them, and it's a huge club, we got to the CMO and the CTO of the club. So we made to achieve 3 meetings with them. And now we are waiting for the final decision. And last week they tell us, okay, wait a few more days because we want to work with you. So we have good expectations.
Right.
And from the moment that we are able to close, the federation is closed, the Belgian Federation, the club we are aiming to close. If we can prove with federation, with club, okay, we are ready to start doing what you were saying.
Absolutely, and then scale up. Let's talk a little bit about investment, because in our previous conversation, you told me that in order to make all this happen, and it seems like, this algorithm and this solution that you've created, it's has something in it, and there is a potential to build a big business here, which can start in making the venues full and the e-commerce value, but also can expand to other areas of monetization. You need money now to expand the business. Yeah, you need money to invest in people. Yeah,
exactly.
How much money are you looking to raise?
We are looking to raise 500,000 euros.
Okay.
Right now we need, it's the perfect moment to talk about this, because we were discussing that we need to close with the federation, with the club, prove and start multiplying. If we
Great.
had the money, we can do this right now. I didn't need to be worried with my technical guy because he has a lot of work. I just need to hire another. And I don't need to be worried with myself because I can be in two meetings at the same time. I just have to have someone working with me in business development. So the money is to start multiplying. And we believe that we have the concept, we have the people, we have the technical part already made and
Great.
working, built and working. So we need the money to scale. And that's
Amazing.
what we are looking for
So
the money.
I like it very much. You say, guys, we are now proving that what we have works. It will be great, by the way, if you can show conversion of the 60 days to a business. So how out of, let's say, how many pilots, will it be 50%, 80% of pilots convert to business, or more or less? This is also a landmark. But you say, we've cracked it. We are very close to cracking it. Yeah, we put together, it's working. We now demonstrated that we have a happy client on the federation side. We will have a happy client on the clubs and federations. Yeah, we call them lighthouses. Yeah, it will be very happy customers that will shout how much they are happy with full venue and how much Tiago is really transformed the way they work and give them tons of value. So once you have that, now you say we're ready now to raise the money and duplicate the success all over the world.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, 500 sound a bit low, but okay. But let me ask you, and this is a question I'm sure a lot of startups are debating how to approach that. But do you have a fundraising plan? Let's say if I ask you, by when do you need, you are planning to raise this $500,000? By when? Do you have a date?
Our expectation is to do it in the next 6 months. So it would be great that, for example, let's look into this 500K. If we can have on the next following 60 days, 150K, and on the next 3 months, 200 more, and on the end of the 6 months, the rest of the money, 150K. So we have this plan because we know what we can do immediately to start multiplying the success that we have.
By when would you have the first 150?
We would like to have it. We would like to have it by the end of the year.
End of the year. Okay. So great. So you're saying I want to have 500 overall in the next 6 months and 200 by the end of the year. So the question I will ask you is, good. So what is your game plan to get those 200 by the end of the year?
We have some conversations running, and some of the investors already told us what we need to prove to them in order that they can put the money on us. So right now, our focus needs to be those preconditions, these pre-requirements that the investors put us on our side, and we need to accomplish our mission perfectly. If we are able to, we are ready to reach the investors again, show what we have already, and let them decide accordingly to that.
Great. Now that's just a point I want to elaborate what you just said. It's a great point. One of the, I would say, actions, tactics to work with investors is to come to them and say, guys, to come to the investors, especially the one that you've been introduced to somebody that knows you and there is an open relationship, and say, no, I want to present you the concept so you are familiar and what we're doing. And I want to know what are the, after you saw what we're doing, what would be the key milestones we need to achieve, Mr. Investor, for you to say yes, for you to be interested in what we're doing. And then if the investor is a very good relationship, he will really tell you, as he probably did, okay, Tiago, if you're doing this, you do a pilot with those two people, you get a positive feedback. You can start a commercial thing after 60 days. I'm willing to put some money in. That's perfectly. It doesn't mean that the guy will give you the money later on, because if you come back in 6 months' time, he may tell you blah blah blah, and I already invested in other startup. I don't have the money now. No, nothing is secured until it's secured. But it's a good strategy, specifically if you're working, if you're doing this with more than one, even 3, 4, 5 investors. One of the startups, by the way, in our platform is now negotiating with an investor, but the problem there is that it's the only investor. And when there is one investor, and I tell this all the time, like in any deal, if you have one vendor only, one partner, potential investor, usually this is a bad deal, because the investors understand that, and then he understands that the startups is desperate for a deal, and usually it ends up either in a bad deal or not at all. So it's very important. I know it's easier said than done, but very important to always make sure that you have more than one investor, and to work even harder in order to create at least, and then to play, and to say, if any investor is putting an offer, say, okay, so, we have another offer coming up. We'll share it with our board, and we'll come back to you and give you a feedback on that. Yeah. So that's just the point of having. So now you already shared this with some investors. Yeah. How many investors do you have now, which are, you say, are potential to write checks?
I would say that we have 2 interested investors, and we have had like 20 meetings in the past month with investors.
You had?
We had in the
out of the 20, you get now 2 which are interested, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And out of the 2, you're hoping to get 200 by the end of the year.
Exactly. And we are working to achieve that milestone.
Okay. I will invite you to consider that to have 2 is not enough to have a check really check written down. So what I would do is work and try to get another 2 at least investors which are lining up, because in the last minute there are always things that are falling down. Suddenly they cannot invest. Suddenly they say only next. We're postponing our investment for 6. If you depend on 2 people, one of them suddenly something happened, the other one just left his job, so there is a new investment guy that now tells you I need to start all over. 2 could be, I would say, a bit risky.
Yeah.
Now, also, let's talk about timing realistically. How long do you think a investment process takes?
In terms of closing the investment?
Yeah, from the minute the person says yes until the money is in.
I believe that we have a complex process in terms of legal aspects. I would say that's 60 to 90 days to close the process. But
okay, let's take 90 days. It could be more, it could be less, but let's take 90 days. But until it's signed, there are usually a lot of correspondence with the lawyers and things that can go wrong, and the due diligence, which take another time. So overall, effectively, I would say a rough number is between 4 to 6 months.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to have 200K by the end of the year, it's a little bit ambition. I'm not saying it's impossible. It probably will be easier to do it with an angel investor that can just assign checks than a fund. Because fund usually is a longer process.
Right.
So those 2 investors that you talk to, they are companies or they are private individuals?
We have a private and we have a company.
Okay. I also ask them, what is the usual process? I ask our investors in advance, what is the usual process and timeline for signing a deal with you on average. So again, question would be, if I'm in your chair, I will say, okay, maybe I'm not going to get the money by the end of the year. So maybe I'll get it only by, I don't know, February, March.
Yeah.
Maybe longer than that. What the question would be, what is the impact on your business if the money will come in just by, let's say, March or April next year?
Yeah, the impact will be that we will not be able to expand as much as we could. So we will.
Okay, but the business will not, you will still run, you still have fuel to run the business without investment.
Yes, of course. So that's the point. If we are not able to reach the investment, we will grow, but we will grow slowly. We will grow step by step, client by client, and that's a perfect way to grow also. But
Excellent.
of course, with the investment, we can do it in a faster way. But we are prepared not to have this investment and to keep our plan going on, because we have a business plan. We have an expectation of having, for example, we have a plan. We have an expectation to have 8 clients in a year. So if we can reach these 8 clients with the fees that we are asking for Fulvenio, we are totally comfortable without investment. But we want to grow. We want to reach the world, and we believe that the investment will be very
That's
important.
great. That's a perfect way to approach investors, because if you're saying to them, guys, we are growing anyway, it's just about how fast we can scale. We are not desperate for your money. That's what investors like to hear.
Yeah.
This will actually even speed the process.
We hope so.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that your business will be able to generate income, or you have some savings, that will be able to run the business. But you still need to prove that after 60 days there is conversion.
Right.
Unless you tell me, I'm bringing, I have $2 million from my own, I bring them and it's okay. Because what will happen if your conversion will not happen and there will be people not converting to business later on? Can you still run the business?
It will be difficult. And it's interesting because the fact of having 60 to 90 days to close a deal with a client is something that we don't like to hear. And when we had this meeting with the clients, the feedback was amazing. We were able to do all the meetings with all the stakeholders from the club in 15 days or 20 days. But then the decision always comes to those 60 to 90 days.
Let me ask you this. I understand the time cycle that it takes to close a deal, and I know those organizations. It could be nightmare.
Yeah.
Now, not all. There are some people taking fast decisions now, especially now. Now, let me ask you this: How much is your burn rate? How much is the cost of running your company at the moment? What? I don't know, 30,000, 50,000 euro a month?
No. I would say that's 4,000 a month.
4,000 euro a month?
Yeah.
That's the burn rate?
That's the burn rate right now, yes.
Including your salary?
Including my salary, yes. So we don't have a lot of costs because...
You're running very, very low on expenditure. Okay, that's good.
I have my salary. I have my colleagues also working in a timely base, and we have our technical part, our black box, the algorithm that is already built. That doesn't have a lot of costs, only infrastructure costs. So
got it. So that's good. So if you would tell me, we have 30,000 burn rate or 20,000 because we need to pay, I don't know, developers and the operation guy, this would probably mean that if your projections of bringing money in from customers will be delayed, you're in a problem. Because there will be no money to pay the ongoing expenditure. Now, in your case, still, if I heard you right, there is the money that will start coming in will take time. So you still need to run the company and fund it on your own at the moment, if I understand right. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a few months. Yeah.
So we had a short investment or a prize or a prize money from the European Commission on the beginning of our process.
Great.
So we are managing that money, and with that money, we are building the structure to explode.
Great. Got it. Excellent. So let's talk. We have a few more minutes. So first of all, in terms of investors, what is, let's say, what I would do if I was in your chair, I would say to myself, okay, I need to have at least another 2 serious investors that are interested to invest. And for that, I will create a game plan where I'm using the different channels and I set the game of how many investors I want to meet. Relevant investors. And I would create a game. Let's say by the end of the year, you want to meet another 35 investors. And then you put where you can find them. What are the channels? Who are the people that can connect you to that? Is it your board members? Is it your connections? Special platforms. Where can you do that? And then create a game and make sure, because that out of 20, last time out of 20 investors, you got 2 interested. So I said 35, but if you can get another 20, 25 out of them, get another 2, I think worthwhile doing a game like that. Yeah, focusing on creating a structure or a funnel like that. The other thing is about getting your customers, strategic customers. Yeah. What is your current game plan to bring those additional customers?
So we are exploring the market, and we are now looking for smaller clubs where we can add immediate value and start to have some income, not the price model that we have defined on the first day of our discussions, but an adapted price to the reality of each club, but somehow starting to generate income. And also pointing to, in this case, to the area of entertainment here in Portugal. We have the shows opened again. We have theaters, we have concerts, we have a lot of things, and the venues are not full. So we are started to talking with companies that organize these events, and we are trying to build a collaboration. Smaller collaborations, smaller companies, but starting to have the income to feel comfortable with the work that we are developing.
Correct. So second tier clubs, and you believe they will be able to pay money after 60 days?
I believe that from the moment that they can see the results of having something like this on their sites, of having an AI tailor-made platform on their sites, they will be able to pay us, or even in a splitted fee rate. So to have a rev share model, but we will be able to start receiving some money from these clubs.
Great. Now let me ask you this: how many new clubs do you think you will have by the end of the year?
Considering that we are not closing the investment until the end of the year, because it is probable that we won't. We hope to have 2 more clients working with us, because we have to be realistic. We have the team limit. We are not a lot of people. We are 3 people, and to deliver a good work, we need to have 2 more clients, and we can have only 2 more clients, because we are considering 2
more clients, and to have these 2 clients, 2 additional clients.
Yes.
What's the strategy to get them?
We are getting in touch with them. I will give you an example. Last week, I had a new follower on LinkedIn, and that follower was an IT manager from a club in Portugal, and he followed Full Venue. Okay, I have added this person on LinkedIn. He accepted my request, and I have sent him a message saying, okay, I saw that you added Full Venue on LinkedIn. If you want to know more about our company, let's schedule a meeting, let's discuss. And we are starting to develop a relation based on this fact. So we are approaching the clients. We have built an analysis. We have an Excel file with around 50 clients that we can approach. and then we are choosing the best way to approach each one of them, because we don't want just to add them on LinkedIn and send a message, because most of the times it will fail. But first, we are understanding if we have someone that can introduce us to each one of these 50 clients, and if we are able to have an introduction of someone that has some power inside the organization, it will be easier to have our first meeting. From our first meeting, we need to feel the feedback that we had. And after it, if we are able to have the second meeting, we will prepare a proposal tailor-made to the club, to the client, that they will feel, okay, these guys are already working for my club. They are already doing some work. Okay, let's give them an opportunity.
Great. We need to wrap up shortly, but I'm not going to do it without asking you. You've just finished the Global Virtual Accelerator with Hype on the Clubs and Federation vertical with Ryan McCumber. How was it? What? Let me ask you this: what are the two straight points, values you took out of participation in the program? What are the two main values, benefits you took?
It's short to give only two, but the way that we have growth, so the way that Full Venue grew on the past month, the way that I was able to become the CEO, the full-time representative of Full Venue, and the way that I feel myself as an entrepreneur right now, I can say that Type was the GVA was one of the main reasons that make me reach the point that I am now. Yourself, Ryan, Fiona Green, that was our mentor. So yeah. It was a big entourage. It was a huge opportunity. And okay, so Full Venue passed from the idea to a company, and myself passed from the guy that has the ideas to an entrepreneur. And Hype gave us that.
Amazing. Tiago, we are going to follow on and see where we're going together, and please stay around. I'm really excited to see the work that you're doing, and I'm really interested to see that you're really achieving success and continue to do good. And I want to thank all our viewers and listeners for joining us today. And see you next time in the Live with Hype.
Thank you very much. A pleasure to be here.